Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a brand new series that I've decided to call, well, In Another League. I know it's not exactly the most original title, but when you think about it, it's kind of flexible. Because it means either I could be pretty good and pretty amazing with my skills, or I could be so horrible that there's really only one way to describe my skill set.
Endless trash!
So let's see which spectrum I am on, and we begin with the first of the two series, the SNAIL Michelin Pilot Challenge. And this is one of two races of it. And I start qualifying 14th. It's not exactly the best position I've qualified in, but first race back doing one of these sorts of things, so nothing too big to expect. So we start off here, not the greatest start, and I've already lost 14, but it's fine. The objective, just to make it through the race, have no trouble, and most importantly, finish it. That's really it. So, my expectations are about as low as you could get. Because again, I haven't done something serious like this in quite some time. And so we're kicking things off with a lower horsepower series there. And as you can see, there's a little bit of mayhem ahead, but all is well. And of course, the first objective is tick right off. Make it on the first lap without having to get in trouble. So that's great. Now comes the other two. Keeping the car on the track and finishing the race. Again, pretty simple things. You know, no need to go for a finish, no need to go for a win, fast lap or anything. That's all I need to do. Except, there would be a problem with those last two. That did not go well. That's one objective that I unfortunately did not manage to get through. And so for the rest of that race, it would just be me punting around at the back and basically being on track. Sure, I gained another position, but that was just mostly because someone else also had a bit of a spill. Otherwise, not exactly remarkable. So, but again, first race back, I was kind of annoyed, but it wasn't too far. But then something strange sort of started happening. And I was seeing cars pulling off the track. And up to that finally. And I saw another car off. And very much I started going, wait, what on earth is happening here? And at first, I thought that maybe there was something, maybe a caution or whatever was happening, and I didn't hear it. Because there was also a point where I heard no one else's microphone or whatever. In fact, I didn't hear that I was not in the chat, so I pretty much consciously was beginning to not go as quickly as I was before. Pretty much hoping that maybe that's what it was or whatever. I had never done one of these races in a while, so I didn't know what it was like to be disconnected. That is until this particular race here. And just like that. But you know what? That was race one. And maybe the second race will go fine. Now, of course, the second race was a reverse style grid, which meant the finishing order was the starting order. So yeah, I got pole in the most unflattering way possible. No pressure there. What am I doing? I'm a slow guy and I've got all these faster cars going by. Of course it's a little bit. So I just decided to just back out of it and let the actual fast people get on through there, because frankly I'm in no position to fight for literally anything. And also, as I would later find out, my car wasn't even properly spec'd out. It was actually below the performance when it's needed. So I guess I wasn't really going to have too much of a chance anyway. But anyhow, that was fine, letting everybody go by, letting everybody go through, and so forth. And basically just getting out of everybody's way, well, except for the Mercedes, but I kind of overplayed it at the last minute. I didn't know that this was there. Really should have turned on the radar there, or at least kept an eye on the radar. So it seemed pretty fine. And then a caution, and 5 laps later, the unfortunately now familiar someone disconnecting happened yet again. So to recap, that is 2 races and 2 DNFs. But what about that other series? Now this is a part where I'd like to bring up that the McLaren drivers signaled that they were going to pull to the left because their cars aren't ready getting off the line. Just remember that, because this plays kind of a big factor as to why I'm not a fan as to what I did at the start of the race. Anyhow, let's go right. So, we got this one, Sunday, started 8th. It's a top 10, so there's that. And, like those 2 races, it's a false start check as well. So at this point, I'm pretty familiar with how these work. Sadly, however, well, I'm just gonna let this tell everything.
I think he could be a massive idiot.
Despite that little warning from the McLaren drivers, I somehow thought going to the left was a great idea, and then proceeded to get in everybody's way. Really idiotic stuff here. I know I should be kicking myself in the hell and all that, but just, they literally said they were going to do that, and I still, it's not even worth thinking about that point. Anyway, so I got going. I was kind of tempted to quit given how the other 2 races went and how that just went. But something inside just said, just keep going. Just, you're here. Just finish it out. And 5 laps later, I was already catching to the back of the field. So, obviously staying there was not a terrible idea. So, I was chasing down these 2 cars here and gaining quite a bit of time on them. So, I had a new motivation. See how far back up I could climb, or how close I could get back to my 8th position that I qualified in. Well, there were certainly some instances where I was being helped out quite a bit. For example, that little bit of scrap. And that allowed me to catch up quite a bit as well, especially through this section here, where it seems like I just gained a lot of time on some of the cars. Unfortunately, though, there was also lag. Everybody's favorite thing to contend with when trying to race everybody else, because, you know, is it really a race if you can't pass somebody who's just absolutely unpredictable with where their car is, because the connection's just not, it's something. And at this point, I already know how that works, so I just try to find a way around it. Now, thankfully, the straightaway is one of the best places to go if you're having that issue, especially if you've got a big old power advantage there, or at least know how to use the draft properly. Thankfully, I got by one of the 2 BMWs, well, 3 BMWs. Well, make that 2 actually, because there was another BMW ahead that went into the corner and on acceleration spins right out. Keep an eye on this spinning out and this particular corner. It's a bit of a running theme in this race. Not always together, but pretty frequent. Anyhow, 2 laps later, and I'm chasing down the GTR now when I encounter one of 2 little jump scares going on.
Hello there.
So that first one was one of the McLarens. And how did I get in the position that it was in? Well, it McLarened. That's about it as best as I can describe, because this car has been a bit of a pain in the butt for the drivers all weekend, but it's fine. I'm sure nothing else happened. Anyway, next lap, and I get the second of 2 jump scares at the exact same corner.
You can't park this, huh?
And the best way to describe it is, well, looks like this young hot shot came in too hot and shot himself. So that happened, and that's 2 free positions I ended up getting. Quite a lot happening there. I also got by the GTR as well, and would go chasing down the other BMW, and was hoping to pretty much get close nearby. Little did I realize I wouldn't have to wait, because, well, there he was. And remember what I said about that corner and spitting out being a theme? Yeah, played out pretty much exactly how the other one played out. and I was too silly enough not to realize that just happened. Again, that radar kinda tends to help quite a bit. Anyhow though, nothing major, just a small bump there. Both of us got going, but the races weren't significantly compromised or anything. So we were able to keep going there. I would end up chasing him down. I mean, I was already right there anyway. Of course, however, there came that oh-so familiar problem of lag. And unfortunately, it was just a slight bit worse because this car now was kind of jumping even through turns. Thankfully, however, later on, I'm not sure if a mistake happened, maybe he overbraked or it was so, I can't really tell through the lag. But despite braking early, I still managed to get a pass done and kept the car off of him. So, that was now 6th place. At which later is we focus on this Aston right here. Mostly because this is the car that would end up being the car that would be chasing me down for position. And it starts a bit with this pit stop here, at least I feel like it does. Because I was getting a bit of time, but not quite a lot. So, there was his stop there was his tires and his wheel. It was at this point I started trying to work backwards how to do the stops. And what was the last time I could pit in before I couldn't pit anymore? I would clarify that that'd be lap 23. So I decided to pit on lap 20 after working backwards, figuring this will be the best balance between the tire wear and the fuel use, which meant essentially, if I do that, I was pretty much good to the end, and so the rest of my laps could be qualifying laps. And speaking of qualifying laps, that's exactly what I went on. So by lap 23, I saw him in the windshield, but by lap 26, I was now really on the bumper. And this would be kind of a chase/battle between us. That 5th place. Not bad considering how this whole race weekend started. So that's it for this video. Sorry this took me so long, so intimidating, and sometimes I wanted to give up, but I pushed through. If you guys like this video, give it a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe, as I'll make more of these. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.